All right, what is up, y'all? I am here today with a supplementation update. Adam Pruzan was in the office the other day. He noticed that I was restocked on some stuff, and he was asking some questions about what it is he needs to be doing right now because the advice has changed over the years. And so I wanted to summarize this. We have a post, which is a initial supplementation recommendations post that I'm constantly updating, and I'll link to that and share that. And so we also, I know a lot of us want alternatives for the things that I recommend that sometimes we're out of stock with because of this whole crazy situation that we're in. A lot of companies are having a hard time sourcing raw materials and having employees to actually put the work in to create these products. And so we want to have some alternatives to the things that we feel like are absolutely necessary. So I'm going to go through some foundational recommendations. And again, most of this is updated in that supplementation post, but you'll notice, over the years, we've evolved as far as our recommendations on supplements. In the very beginning, if you look back, 7 years or something like that, we got some old blog posts on our blog, and we had really complex, complicated supplement recommendations. We still called it strategic supplementation. We still weren't fans of big, broad spectrum nutrients like multivitamins and things. But we did have a lot of things that if you did them all, you were taking a lot of supplements, right? And just like everything else that we do, what we're doing, we have to go through that complexity and chaos in order to simplify it down into what it is that we actually need to know. And as our understanding of what's important evolves, that simplification process happens naturally. And so now we've got a pretty solid little, strategy for supplementation. And this is general stuff for most people. Now, if I'm working with you specifically on specific symptoms or conditions as a private client or something like that, that is outside of this, right? So we're talking today about what's foundational for most people. So the first foundation in healing ourselves as we're eating real food is supporting digestion, right? As if you were to go to functional medicine school, or if you were to go through the Nutritional Therapy Association's programs, any version of their programs, like their first foundation is always supporting digestion. And most of us probably don't realize it, but when you start to eat real food, your digestion improves naturally automatically. So a lot of us came into this with digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux, GERD, gas, bloating, burping, diarrhea, constipation, just feeling very, very uncomfortable around eating because we're eating the wrong things. And when we start to eat the right things, all of a sudden those things start to clear up naturally. Part of it is we're starting to get the raw materials, the nutrients that we need to facilitate making hydrochloric acid and all the gastric juices and digestive juices and enzymes and things like that. And then it becomes a round robin because you give your body what it needs to digest better, and because it's digesting better, it's getting more of what it needs, right? So digestion is the first foundation that we support, but we almost always recommend supporting digestion with supplements too, because the better your digestion, the better you're assimilating nutrients, and now that we're going into cold and flu season, the stronger your upper GI acidity, the more likely it is that you're digesting pathogens before they can get into the rest of your system if they enter through your esophagus. So I think supporting digestion is a good idea all the time. And so the first foundational supplement recommendations are always going to be our digestive support supplements, and we always have these in stock. These are not out of stock right now. We've got Hydrozyme, our low-dose acidic support, upper GI support. We got beta-TCP, which supports bile flow. It's got some good concentrated beet juice and some other cofactors. And then we've also got bromelain plus CLA, which supports enzymes that help break down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, okay? We haven't been out of these yet. The only one we are out of is betaine plus HP, which is the higher dose concentration of Hydrozyme. It's like 5 Hydrozyme in 1 pill. We've been out of those for a little bit, but I actually have 6 of them coming in, I think today or maybe Monday. But these are always in stock, okay? Now the next thing that we recommend, aside from digestion, and the digestion part is optional, well, let's cover another optional thing, but a lot of people embrace it, which is protein powders, okay? So with our protein powders, we usually recommend having a combination of whey isolate. Whey isolate is the purest form of whey protein that we can get. It has 0 lactose and minimal casein. And if you get the right product from the right company, it's going to be cold filtered. It's going to keep intact what is known as immunoglobulins, which are these little things that kind of attach themselves to pathogens in your system and help you neutralize pathogens better, and it helps with your immune system tremendously, right? So it's what makes colostrum so popular now, and there's actually products that a lot of companies sell that's based on immunoglobulins. So if you do it right, cold filtered, then it's going to be a really good product, and whey isolate's the way to go versus hydrolyzed whey or versus whey concentrate. I love our product because it is from grass-fed cows from New Zealand, and it is cold filtered, and it is measured for immunoglobulins post-production. And so we have the Whey Isolate chocolate and vanilla in stock, and the neutral flavor. If these are not in stock, we have a recommendation with some links to some things you can get on Amazon that are really good substitutes for it, that still kind of mimic this cold filtration process. And then we also recommend having some collagen that you mix with that. So if you're doing a protein shake as a meal replacement, we're looking for 30 grams total of protein, which means usually 2 scoops of whey, 1 scoop of collagen, or maybe 2 or 3 scoops of whey, and then some A2 milk or some heavy cream or some coconut milk or a combination of those things. And that would be a good meal replacement shake. Now, if you're looking for a post-workout shake, then I'd say just a scoop of whey and a scoop of collagen would be perfectly fine. So we've got the whey protein isolate in stock, and we've got alternatives for when we go out of stock, and we do not have the collagen in stock, but when it comes in stock, I'll let you guys know, but we do have an option for that. Now, when you're looking for a collagen alternative to what we have a blend that is a blend of type 1, 2, 4, 5, and 10, or 8 and 10, or something like that collagens, which are collagens from different sources, marine-based. We've got poultry, we've got eggshells, we've got parts of the body, different parts of the body. So what we're looking for now is a multi-blended or a multi-collagen. And therefore, Kathy had also asked, like, what about the one we can get from Costco? That is a type 1 collagen. Most of these collagens on the market are just type 1 unless they actually advertise that they're different versions of collagen. I would look for a multi-collagen. Okay, so Biotics is awesome. We're out of stock right now. When we come in stock, I'll let you know, but we've got links to what I consider to be a really good product. I was on the phone with them yesterday actually to confirm how they make their product, okay? Now, the next level is gonna be supporting eating animals nose to tail, which means supporting eating an entire animal, because if we want to facilitate this animal that we want more than muscle meat, and most of what we eat in the version of ground beef and steaks and pork chops and chicken and things like that are mainly muscle meat. We also want to get the nutrients that come from every other part of the animal. And so the first way that we work around that is going to be to consume bone stock on a regular basis. I would say a cup of bone stock a day would be an awesome start. The more you can do, the better. So either learn how to make your own bone stock, or we have a list of store-bought bone stock options that are very, very solid, that have been vetted. And then I also make stock all the time. I've got frozen stock in my fridge here, freezer. I got frozen stock in my freezer at home, and I always have it available to sell. So $6.50 per quart if you ever want to get it from me, okay? The next thing to support nose to tail animal consumption would be collagen powder. So, and we've already talked about collagen powder, right? We want a multi-collagen powder, and I would say, getting a couple scoops in a day would be a good first start. I feel like if you're doing a multi-collagen, the more you can do, the better, right? And then finally, we come to organs. Now, I would recommend trying to eat a 1/4 pound of liver every week, and if that doesn't seem possible, maybe just starting with eating liver at some point, just to experience it and see if you can find a way to make it work. I think liver burgers are awesome. We've got a good recipe in the group on liver burgers. And then I would also recommend taking organ supplements, because organ supplements can be these concentrated doses and versions of these organs with the most important nutrients that come from those organs. Now, on the processing of organ supplements, I don't think anything compares to Biotics, because Biotics uses neonatal fetuses. They have exclusive rights on animals that, for whatever reason, maybe they're stillborn, or they have some kind of complications, they can get these fetuses that have pristine organs in them that have never been used, never been aged, never been toxified or damaged. And then their processing for those organs, they use a natural solvent that's something the body makes anyway, acetone, to get rid of the fat. And then they grind it up and they spread it out, and they do a very low temperature drying process. I think it's somewhere, or I think they said 94 degrees, keeps all the enzyme activity intact, okay? And so for that reason, I don't think anything compares to the Biotics products. Now, what we usually recommend from Biotics is the Neonatal Multi, which gives you a little bit of every organ and gland in the body, combined with Biotics Liver Supplement, which is Cytozyme LV. And then in addition to that, if you have personal dysfunction that you're working on, or things that you're trying to enhance, like if I'm a male trying to enhance my testosterone production, then I would consume their Orchic product, which is their gonads, their male gonads product. But aside from that, as a general protocol, I recommend the multi, and I recommend liver for everyone, even if you're consuming liver, because it's just such a powerful supplement. And unfortunately, I don't have an alternative for those, because I just don't believe in the efficacy of the other products that are out there. And I can tell you, from an organ supplement product standpoint, we've got Heart and Soul from Paul Saladino, and we've also got Ancestral Supplements. And if I had to choose between those two, even though I love learning from Paul Saladino, I would probably choose Ancestral Supplements. I've talked to the guy back and forth on email a little bit, and I do love how they process theirs. I just don't think it's as good as ours. And their serving size it makes it very expensive because they're recommending you take 6 capsules per day or per serving, and you have to, I think one bottle lasts you a month or something like that. And I feel like ours is a much more concentrated dose and version. You don't have to take as much of it, okay? So as a workaround, we're out of the neonatal multi right now. I would still recommend taking the liver. If you're waiting on the orchic to come in or another one of the glandulars that have been out of stock, we do have the cytozyme O, we've got the cytozyme kidney, the thymus, the spleen. So we've got some things in stock, but as a workaround, if you're waiting on something that's not available, then just getting the liver in, or if you don't have the neonatal multi, just getting the liver in is going to be extremely beneficial, I think, okay? Let's see what else we got. Okay, so then now we come out of the nose to tail area, right? So again, foundational for everyone, support digestion, bone stock, collagen, organs in some way, all right? Now we come into some of the other little nuanced things, but I think are pretty solid recommendations across most spectrums, okay? Vitamin D3, you're looking for 2,500 to 5,000 IU most days, and you got to take that with food because it is a fat-soluble nutrient. All right, and this is even for those of us to get out and get some sun. I think that would be beneficial. I think that's a really solid dose. I also recommend everyone take a K2 product, and ideally it's a broad spectrum K2, which has MK4 and MK7 in it. And I love our BioDK caps. BioDK caps has 5,000 IU of D3, and it's got a blend of various K2s in it. I am out of it right now. They're out of stock right now, and I do have replacements, but they're going to be 2 separate products from Amazon, okay? But when those come in stock, it's totally worth having our version of it because it's super powerful and super clean, okay? Another thing that I would add to these other supplements outside of the nose to tail would be vitamin C, getting 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day. We are out of BioC Plus 500, but we have Bio Plus C 1,000, which is one capsule gives you 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and it has different versions that are chelated with different minerals for easier absorption. So love the product from Biotics. And then for magnesium, we always have MGzyme in stock. And for iodozyme, if you're one of the people that feel like it's important to take iodine, then we do have iodozyme in stock. Okay. Now, when we come up to our natural immunity talk coming up here in a few weeks, we will have some immune support supplementation recommendations. And those are going to be completely optional, but I'm telling you right now, the latest and greatest from the thought leaders in the holistic health realm, from the people on the front line of COVID, from personal experience. I haven't been sick in over 6 years, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's not wrong if you get sick, but I mean, I feel like that's a testament that I'm doing something right. So, but anyway, that's going to be an additional level of things, okay? Now, if you stayed with me this far, again, to simplify things, support digestion, support eating animals nose to tail, bone stock, collagen, organs, organ supplementation, and then everyone needs to be taking a D3, K2, some vitamin C, and then most of us probably benefit from taking magnesium. I'm not putting it up there as a priority. And then a few of us are taking iodozyme or iodine, okay? I think that's all I got. Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you guys soon.